I've been putting applications in Battle Creek though.
Okay, why haven't you moved? Why haven't you moved to Battle Creek where you could utilize public transportation or move closer to where you might be able to get a job?
Because I've lived in Battle Creek for 35 years and it's toxic for me.
Right. Ms. Sutherland, in this matter, the court will advise you ever that again, you're charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, in the matter of Grzinski versus Sutherland, docket 2018-3208 DC, the respondent Ashley Sutherland is here for a bench warrant hearing because she failed to appear for a shall cause hearing on March 26, 2024 before referee Moeller. Ms. Sutherland is currently ordered to pay $141 a month for current support, $50 on arrears for a total of $194.50 each month, including service and processing fees. Last payment received on this docket was on June 15th, 2022, in the amount of $260. And to be clear, Your Honor, that was the last voluntary payment received. Ms. Sutherland should have paid $1,167. She's paid nothing, so that is also her shortfall. Total arrears on this docket are $972.78 through September 30th, 2024.
Ms. Dickens, do you contest or dispute any statements made by Ms. Mouton?
Your Honor, my client has indicated that she has made payments this year, one around March for approximately $147 and another one in June and for approximately around $40. Also, my client indicates that on the March 26th court hearing, she did show up to it, but she was late to it. There was a bench warrant already being issued, but when she talked to the referee, that referee indicated to her that he was going to undo that bench warrant since she did show up to that hearing date. And in fact, that was around when she made that payment, and then she showed up a couple of weeks later for more court hearings with regard to her children, and she wasn't arrested at that time, so she felt that the bench warrant was in fact taken care of like she thought it was. She also called down to court to make sure there was no bench warrant. They indicated there was no bench warrant for her. So we do contest those issues with regard to the FOC enforcement. Also, there is a question of why the total arrears is lower than the total shortfall. That does not make sense to either one of us.
Why is the arrears less than the shortfall?
Yes.
Well, probably because she was ordered to pay a particular, maybe a lump sum amount, plus the ongoing support obligation. So that might have been higher than the arrearage because she was ordered to pay that particular amount.
Usually, Your Honor,
that's
outlined under the lump sum so that we would know that's where it's coming from, and it does not show that here.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
So we have, friend of the court has received some involuntary payments, which would account for the difference in the arrears and what is currently the shortfall. But again, the last voluntary payment received was in 2022.
Yeah, Your Honor, on top of all that I have already indicated, my client is currently not working. She's been out of work for about the past 4 years. The reason being is her youngest child had severe medical issues where the child needed to be taken care of 24/7 full time. That's what she was doing. That child is now residing with her mother because CPS got involved. So since that time, she's been looking for work. She's had interviews with Magna and TRMI. She's not heard anything back from those interviews. When she called to check up on it, they said that somebody else got the job. She's on waiting list for 3 different staffing agencies to try to get work. She calls on that regularly. They indicate that she's still on the list. They're just not getting a lot of openings. She's also dealing with the court for CPS and doing a lot of classes with regard to that, to so that she can get her kids back into her care. She's had to move her residence, so she's had a very stressful time, but she's still trying to, find a job and get this paid. She does not want to be behind in her child support. She was able to bond out. She's able to she wants to be able to pay the like $20 a week to get something paid towards the child support to give her more time to try to find a regular work. And recently her child support was dropped down to the 147. Prior to, it was like 400 plus that she was not able to make those payments, but that has been changed, so that is going to help her. But she's still needing the time to find work, and we're asking that you adjourn this out to give her that time.
Okay, thank you. When did the child go to live with your mother?
CPS got involved last August with me, but during that process, I've had to move. I've had.
Okay, hold on. I asked you one simple question. When did the child go live with your mother?
They've been with my mom since August of last year.
Last year, 2023?
Yeah.
And tell me, in the last year, what have you done to acquire employment?
Well, I've put several applications in. I mean, multiple places. I mean, pretty much every place on Columbia, I put applications in. I went to temp agencies. I've had interviews, but there was people that met higher qualifications than I did, so they got the position before I did. Like my attorney told you, I'm on the waiting list at 3 different staffing agencies, and I call them regularly. I did have a job back in May or June, and I was working for a construction business, but he failed to pay me, only paid me $170 out of $2,400 that he was supposed to pay me. So I quit there. And ever since then, I've been having a hard time finding a job. I put applications in pretty much every day.
Okay, let's say
online, in person.
In a given day, how many applications would you put in?
At least one a day.
It seems she's not putting in any effort to find a job. She says she is unable to work for 4 years because she is caring for her child 24/7. Yet the child was removed by CPS over a year ago. That's plenty of time. It doesn't make any sense.
But there's days where I sit online all day and put applications in.
Okay.
Through Indeed.
Hold on.
ShiftSmart.
Hold on. You said you put in one a day. You realize you could put an application in 15 minutes someplace. So it's not that it's taking up your whole day to put applications in.
No, but I also don't have a vehicle either.
Okay.
And I live in Dowling.
Well, that's probably a substantial hindrance if you're trying to get a job and can't drive or don't have transportation. You live in Dowling, because last time I was aware, they don't have a lot of industry in Dowling.
Right. I've been putting applications in Battle Creek though.
Okay. Why haven't you moved? Why haven't you moved to Battle Creek, where you could utilize public transportation, or move closer to where you might be able to get a job?
Because I've lived in Battle Creek for 35 years and it's toxic for me. That's why I moved out of Battle Creek. There's nothing good there for me. It creates nothing but problems.
Okay.
I want a better life. I want a better lifestyle for my kids. I don't want to be in Battle Creek.
Okay. Well, there's other communities you go to. You could move to Kalamazoo. They have a lot of jobs over there. Or you could move to any number of cities other than Battle Creek to acquire employment. Why haven't you done that?
Because I don't want to live in Kalamazoo. I moved to Dowling because I wanted to live in Dowling out in the country. I don't want to live in the city.
Okay. Well, if you have transportation issues, you're not going to find jobs out in the country somewhere. You understand that? I
can get transportation, but I mean, I can't drive around every day and put in applications. I do them online. A lot of places don't even do paper applications. You have to do them online anyways.
Ma'am, what's your education background?
I have a high school diploma and 2 associate's degrees.
With those credentials and 2 associate's degree, why do you feel you haven't been able to acquire employment?
Because my degrees are in cosmetology and instructing to teach cosmetology. I had a knee injury and it's hard for me to stand up for hours on a concrete floor. My whole leg swells up. I have pins and screws in my knee. So standing for long periods of time on a concrete floor hurts me.
Okay, anything else you'd like me to be aware of, ma'am?
You're saying that I was only in jail for one day, and that's false. I went to jail on September 26th, and at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't bonded out until 5 o'clock on the 28th. And the same day that I went to court in front of the same judge on September 25th. I went in front of him for like 3 hours. I was in court with him. The same magistrate that issued my warrants. I've been in front of this magistrate several times over the last 90 days dealing with my case with CPS, and nothing's ever been said about me having warrants.
Okay, well, I can't say what another judge has done. I don't know what else is, again, what else is in your record, but the fact is what happens if you were in jail on another matter, you wouldn't be getting credit for this case because you were in jail on another matter. Well,
I went to court on September 25th in front of that same magistrate. At 5 o'clock in the morning on the 26th, I got arrested for 2 bench warrants from that same magistrate on child support. But I was in front of him 16 hours prior to.
okay, well, you'll have to look into that because I have no idea about that. All I can go is based upon what information we have, ma'am. Well, in this matter, the court's heard the testimony that Ms. Sutherland has testified that, again, it looks like she has a nominal support arrears. It's under $1,000. That, again, that she claims that she's made 2 payments this year, that the records only show that the last voluntary was back in 2022, June of 2022, but again, that there have been some involuntary payments. She states that she had issues with a child that needed some 24/7 care, but that child has been out of her care since August of 2023, and that she also testifies that her support obligation was reduced previously because it was substantially more and has been reduced down. The court notes that it is a nominal amount. It's $194.50 per month. That she did have a job up through approximately May or June of 2024, but had some problems with the employer not paying her, and then she quit the job at that particular time. She lives in Dowling, which, as she states, is out in the country. There's very little, if any, opportunities to get employment in that area. And she doesn't want to live in Battle Creek because she claims that it's toxic in the time she's living, but yet she doesn't want to live in Kalamazoo where she could acquire employment as well, that she wants to live in the country. And obviously that presents a minimal opportunity for her to acquire employment because there's minimal jobs available in the country. The court will find that, again, that she has not exercised good faith attempt at compliance. She's failed or refused to comply, and she is in contempt of court.
If I go to jail, then it's going to put me in non-compliance with CPS, and then it's going to terminate my rights with my other children if I go to jail. Because I'm not going to be able to do my services for CPS.
Well, you'll have to contact CPS. They do have ability to offer those services in jail if you're in jail. So that's what you'll have to do with them. Based upon the amount in this matter, the court will forfeit the bond previously posted in this case to be applied towards the arrears. That brings it down to, at that point, under $900. We could sentence you up to 45 days in jail. I'm not going to do that. Court is going to sentence you to 14 days in jail with credit for 1 day served. The court will allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $300, and the court will delay the sentence in this matter to November 1, 2024, that you'd have to report before 4:00 p.m. And that way, if you pay the purge amount of $300 before 4:00 PM on November 1, 2024, you would not have to spend the remaining 13 days in jail. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No,
Okay. That will be the order of the court. You're free to go today, and
Even her attitude with the judge during this lets us know she doesn't take things seriously. She hasn't worked in 4 years and has every excuse in the book. She's a mess. Do you think this was a fair ruling? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it this far, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you next time.